Well, this is not what I expected. I'm not sure what to do in this scenario. Oh gosh.
Okay.
Morning. Welcome to another day at the Knorps. Today, well, right now, Esther and I are going to head over to Costco. We don't have much food. And when I say much, I mean we don't have any, really, effectively. And but I'm going to try to just get stuff that's easy because we're moving. So, you know, maybe some frozen lasagna, stuff like that. So stuff we can just eat without too much prep. And then Mike is with Daniel getting a haircut. Daniel has needed a haircut for a long time, but as you know, they're kind of hard to come by. So he made an appointment a while ago and is finally able to do that. And then they're going to go to a rental place and pick up a jackhammer. And I think maybe a special kind of saw, because Mike's going to be jackhammering over at the house today. There's a few things that need to be jackhammered. So.
All right, so Megan is off, I think, to Costco. I just got back, started the day. I took Daniel, actually, to get his haircut. So we should check out his haircut. There he is. Now he looks like, more like a missionary might look.
Look like it.
Cleaned up.
Yeah. Nice.
Good to go. And then, I believe there's someone coming to look at this thing to maybe buy it.
Hopefully they buy it because they drive 2 hours to get here, so.
They're really... Okay, well, we'll see. I guess they're buying it. They're gonna take it. You sold it.
Yeah, we sold it.
How does it feel?
Pretty good.
You going to Disneyland now?
Yep. No more wait.
Spending all of our money.
Yay!
I'm a little worried because if like something breaks or something like that, but
It's always nerve-wracking when you sell something.
Yeah, well, they're live 2 hour away. I mean, not gonna break because
they do the 2 hours.
because we
Oh, you guys worked on it a lot.
yeah, we fixed it on like.
Well, the thing is, things break on things, so eventually, yes, something will break on it.
Yeah.
All right, sweet, it's gone. That means
We have more space in the garage.
we opened up the space, even though we're about to move out of that garage, but I'm glad it's gone. So back at the house, Elijah just helped me unload some stuff. So the project today, so we were gonna move in over at the utility building, but it's super muddy and it would have been kind of messy and muddy. So it's been raining for the past few days, so we need to let it dry out over there, just out in front of it. So instead of that today, I'm gonna work on making the trench for the plumbers to do their thing when they come back, when they come to move the washer dryer hookups. I marked my my kind of path here, but I'm gonna cut out, first I'm gonna score the concrete with a angle grinder with a blade on it that's made for cutting concrete. I'm gonna score it on each side. And then I'm gonna take this guy right here, which I rented. I think this might be a little bit of overkill. But I'm gonna use that to bust out actual concrete and then go to the foundation wall right there so that they can go through that. So that's it. Okay, I just realized that I'm gonna need a few more blades. I realized that like the blade on this thing, it's meant to grind and the blade itself just grinds down. I haven't even finished the first line yet and it's already toast. So Megan's on her way actually over here, so I'll have to, maybe she can run and grab me. I've got one more blade, but I thought 2 would be enough, but I need more like 5 or 6. Luckily, they're only like $2 or $3 a piece, so. Anyways, also I need a long sleeve shirt because it's kicking up all sorts of stuff that's hitting my arms and kind of painful. So I'm hoping she gets here soon. You can see this is how the blade started, and that's it right now. So grinds down pretty quick. All right, well, I already ran out of blades for that thing. Megan went to get me some more. But I thought in the meantime, while we're waiting, we can start working on this path out here in front, which is kind of, well, needs to be replaced. So this used to be a concrete path, and now it's just totally worn down and is really rough and not useful at all. So we thought we'd break it out and replace it with some flagstone. But what's remaining has to be busted out. So we're gonna try to use the jackhammer and get that fixed up. Oh, Megan's back, but not with the blades, just for some lunch, I think.
No blades, no bows.
They didn't have blades at the Ace, so we'll have to go somewhere else for that. Anyways, I wanna try this out first though, and just see how it goes. I'm too excited to use this jackhammer. Oh yeah. I'm gonna bring it over here. How far can we reach? Oh, we might be able to get all the way to the edge. Whoa. That went right down. Whoa. Wow. Oh, you can feel it. When it hits the dirt, it's like immediately goes lower. Dirty. Well, the rain started again. Man, can't seem to beat the rain. We got most of the jackhammering done out there though, so that's good. Now I gotta move on to this. I got my little channels dug there, or cut out. I'm hoping they're deep enough that this will break off clean. I'm gonna use that as my edge to come from on that side and we'll straighten it into the foundation. So let's see how this goes.
All right, so I just finished the last few pieces of flooring in here. I moved this pantry in here, and in the process, this right here came undone, and we're gonna have to glue and clamp that together. Shouldn't have messed with it. I just am so anxious to see things get done and come together, and to visually know how it's gonna work so I can make plans. Like for instance, the reason I wanted to move this cabinet is because I wanted to look at this space above, and now I realize I need more paint, right? Because I thought the fridge would be in front of that, but the fridge is the same height as this, exactly. And so there will be a wall here. I think this will actually be over here. And now I realize I can have some shelving above that, right? And so I just want to see these pieces come in here so I can start to visualize what else I need to plan for before we move in and get done. But at the same time, renovating, especially the way we're doing it, where I know a lot of you are like, oh, why don't you do this or why don't you do that? Is because we own, this is going to be a project house, right? And we don't need to and don't want to and really can't afford to get all the projects done in the next 2 weeks. We just need to get enough projects done so that we can live fairly comfortably. So things like, we are gonna move that door. We're gonna move it around the corner. Will we be able to move it before we move in? I'm not sure. We are going to be redoing that bathroom, but not before we move in. And another thing is we've talked about was adding another shower into that bathroom. Talking to a plumber and looking at all of the implications of it, doesn't make sense to invest that much for like a year and a half, because this will not be the master bedroom when we add a second story. And so it's like, you know what? We're gonna try it. We're gonna move in and see how we do with one shower. And like, it's like, is there anything we can do to make one shower more bearable? Oh, well, we could probably get a never-ending hot water heater so people can just take showers back to back to back. So, you know, things like that make sense. But then you're like, if we're gonna get a hot water heater, let's get one big enough that we don't have to buy a new one in a year and a half. And it can be for the whole house. So we're constantly playing this game where we're dancing back and forth. And like, so Mike has the jackhammer today, and we knew that our front walkway needed to be jackhammered. But I also don't know what I'm gonna be doing with the front yard. So I don't want to invest any money into making a cute walkway, because this whole yard will need to be redone, and I don't know if the walkway is gonna stay there. And so last night I was like, oh, on Pinterest and trying to figure out like, okay, what is my plan for the yard? I haven't even thought about that. But now I have to, because we had the jackhammer and it was just, the walkway was like jagged, old, rocky concrete. But what we realized today is we're just gonna get some gravel, fill in where the walkway is, and it'll be our walkway until we figure out what we're really doing. So I know a lot of you have a lot of ideas, and I appreciate that and the support, but you know, like a lot of people were like, well, why don't you put a pantry right here? Well, because then when you walk in the front room, there would be this big block of just a big block right there, and that would look really strange. And so we're not gonna do that, and we're just gonna make do with, you know, the cabinets and, let me go in the other room. I know we can do that because we are able to live in an RV. And so you just find ways to store your food and make it work. So I'm sure we can do that. So enough talking. Now I need to go and get more paint and put on second coats in bedrooms. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, I was just busting it out. I expected this to be filled with dirt, but instead, it's just a cavern. It's just completely open under here.
You can't really see on the camera, but pretty.
It's all the way to the full ground. It's open under there. Okay, so this might change how this happens. Well, this is not what I expected. I'm not sure what to do in this scenario. Oh gosh. So, did I already explain what happened here? If I didn't, I'm gonna do this again. If I did, we'll skip ahead. So I started cutting out this, or breaking out this concrete, expecting to hit dirt, but instead, I just punched through to some rebar and thin air. So upon closer inspection, it looks like this concrete is poured on like a metal frame underneath, and then it was left empty down there like a crawl space, except there's no access, there's no way to get to it. So it's just dead space underneath this floor. I don't know, I called my brother to see if he knew what to do, who's done plumbing, but he didn't really know. So I don't want to actually break any more out because I'm afraid of actually creating a bigger mess, because the floor is basically kind of supported by itself being concrete, and if I break out more, I could easily compromise the structure of this floor, and it could just cave in, who knows what, cause lots of problems. So, gosh, I emailed the plumbing guys I'm using to see what they think I should do, but I think what I'm going to have to do is probably get a hold of a concrete company that does flat work or foundations and get them out here. The only thing I see that can be done is either completely tearing this whole floor out, doing what we need to do, and then re-pouring the whole thing, or cutting into the side like an access, creating like an access point on the side by cutting into the foundation outside so you can get under there, build another frame, and maybe even do the plumbing. Just kind of run it. You put holes in the side of the foundation like I was gonna do, but you also, because I think over here, so this is, you know, it all goes from here to there. This is also raised up. I'm gonna guess that this is the exact same issue here, that this is on a metal frame and it's just, you know, there's no fill underneath it. So I would think if you could get underneath there, you could run everything underneath. You know, you drill a hole in the what's between here, and then the hole there we were gonna do anyways, and do your plumbing. What I don't know is how to fix this hole. But if you could get underneath there, then you could fix it, because you can get under there. You could rebuild, I'm sure, some bracing and a frame, and you could pour it back. The problem is you can't get underneath there. So I don't know. Long and short of it, I think I'm done. I'm not gonna do any more here. I gotta be done working on that. So I'll have to wait. It's Saturday right now. I have to wait till Monday till I can talk to someone who might know what they're doing and figure out what the problem is. But I think that's gonna be a lot more expensive than I thought it would be to fix that. Well, so it begins. You start breaking stuff up and you kind of open a can of worms. So we'll find out Monday. Daniel's already gone. Megan's off. Oh, she just got here. She went to go into the hardware store to get something. I'll probably just complete getting the walkway busted out. So, bummer. All right, so we're back home, showered. I changed my clothes because I was a dusty mess. Eve is here and happy, right? I talked to a couple people about that hole in the floor that I made. What we determined was I had my structural engineer come over, the one who did the plans for our beam that we're installing and removing that wall. So it was really nice. He came over and looked at it, and then I talked to the plumber. So basically, what we can do is we can open up. I'm going to open up a hole in the back side of the foundation there to access the crawl space, or the place underneath that floor, and then what we can do is just, so the structural engineer said that won't be a problem as far as foundation goes. We can then just put a hole underneath to go from there, from that room through where the stoop is, and then into the crawl space, and the plumbers can just put their pipe down there. And then I'll just build a little door. Once we can just take a sledgehammer basically to that brick, break it out, and then I'll just install a door there so we have access, which is actually probably better anyways in the long run, because we need to put some, we're gonna put some like plastic sheeting down underneath the house to keep moisture from coming up from the crawl space. Anyways, that's a whole nother thing that has to be taken care of. And then to pour back that won't be as complicated as I thought to fix that hole. So I think it's actually gonna be okay. So I got a little bit freaked out there when I punched through and I didn't know what was going on, or if I just made a huge expensive problem, but turns out it should be fairly simple to solve. So I'm super happy about that. But I think what Megan and I are both done over the house. We're tired and just don't want to be working over there. The kids are all kind of playing around. They had some friends over. They ate dinner now at Saturday night, so they had their screen time, so I think they're going to be doing that. And Megan and I might go out and hang out with Weston and Allison. But anyway, so far, so good. Actually, before I go inside, I guess I'll add, the moral of this story to me is that when a problem comes up, you don't necessarily need to freak out. I kind of had a mini freak out, but I kind of kept it together. I just saw the problem. Here comes Megan. Yeah. I just saw the problem and I thought, okay, I'm going to figure out the solution and not freak out about whether it's going to be like a super expensive or super complicated solution. Turns out it wasn't. So crisis averted. Just had to keep it together, which I don't always do, but sometimes I do. Yesy. Okay, just a minute, okay? Anyway, so moral of the story, don't freak out. But sometimes I do anyways.
All right, guys, it's a few days later. I'm editing the video, and our days are just kind of all running together right now. So we didn't realize that we didn't finish it, but, you know, it was fun. First time the boys got to use a jackhammer, so they were pretty excited about that. And I'm glad we got things figured out and that we have a structural engineer and people like that we can phone and they can help us figure things out. But things are coming along well, inch by inch, and we're making decisions and figuring things out and learning new skills, so it's pretty awesome. But thanks for coming along. We love you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Head over to knorpandsoft.com, and we'll see you later. Bye.